Welcome back, shell friends. This was the first shell I found that day. We were at Coral Cove Park, and we're going to find some really awesome shells. Also, at the end of the video, you'll see me rescue a bird from the beach. If you want to see all of that, just keep on watching. This beach is really awesome. It has these rocks there. It can also be quite dangerous, so just have to be careful. But when we went at low tide, I was able to find some shells. There was an olive, and there's a lot of broken pieces in these little rock parts. You know, the shells get beat up on the rocks. I was trying to dig around and see if I could get any of them out, and no luck there. But the rocks did give me some pretty cool shells, and you'll get a look at them. Found a tiny scallop. You'll see that I find a lot of scallops this day, and I'm not mad because I love the scallops. I love looking at all the different colors. This is a little dove snail. Spotted a piece of something orange. Don't really know what kind of shell this was from. Whenever I see orange, I just have to pick it up. Like this. I saw this piece of a lion's paw and hoping that it was whole. It wasn't. Another olive. Found this turkey wing. Really nice coloring. Like golden brown stripes. And a tiny dove snail. Those are pretty common here. This was a very exciting find. That is a nutmeg. And I cannot tell you that I've ever found a nutmeg on the East Coast. I was so excited to find this. I can't believe it survived those rocks, but look how cute it is. I was able to spot this auger, a trusty auger. Comment down below. I want to know if you guys like augers. I love them. This little guy, I'm unsure of. It almost looked like a turd snail. It wasn't. It was very textured. It had this rough texture, kind of like an auger, but sharper is the only way I could describe it. And it had this white color to it. It could have been an auger, not sure. Here is a little tinted cantharus. I was going in and out of the rock pools. This caught my eye. Look at those chocolatey brown stripes on this turkey wing. It's absolutely perfect. And I was able to spot this. I believe it is a chestnut laterus. I found one very similar before. This one definitely has seen better days, but a cool shell. This could be some sort of quahog because they're very thick, very chunky shells. If that's not what it is, you guys can comment down below and let me know what you think. Here is a chestnut turban. This one had some really cool spots on it. I've never seen that white spotting like that. Also because it was wet, but good find there. Back up on the beach, I was looking around and I spotted this little seraph, maybe a fly-specked seraph. And right near it, I spotted another nutmeg, which is very unusual. This one was broken. unfortunately. We'll put it back. But cool to find 2 in one day. Piece of a shell there. And I found this little, I think it must be some sort of snail. Never seen a shell like that before though, so don't know exactly. I do know this is a mossy art. I was able to find these in the shore break there. Another little tinted cantharus and a crab claw. These seem to be pretty popular on my channel. For some reason that day, there were all of these roses scattered along the beach. From the moment I got on, I noticed them, and I don't know if someone was using them, if someone left them, or if they washed up. They were really beautiful roses. And here's another beautiful shell. I think this is some sort of golden olive. I've never found one. I have seen pictures. If that was whole, it would have been an absolute bucket list shell. Here is a tiny scallop. I love the bright orange colors. I spotted this crab shell in the break. Pretty cool with those barnacles on it. But they are alive, so I put it back. Here is a great find. That is a shark eye moon snail. Broken on the edge there, but good size. And here were 2 of my favorite scallops. The one on the bottom had this purple color. It doesn't pick up that well on the video, but it was absolutely beautiful. I had to take it with me. One of my favorite shells, an Atlantic bittersweet clam. Found a second shark eye moon snail. Luckily this one was whole. And you can see that it is a false shark eye because of that back part. Talked about it in a couple of my other videos.
I told you I would find one.
Found a coffee bean trivia. I have been on a roll with finding these lately. It is just one of the coolest mini shells. And I found another mini shell, little top snail, a couple of augers, a Sally's auger, and then a pretty orange auger. I was lucky with those today. And another lucky find, a shark's tooth. I swear that I am always able to find a shark's tooth on a beach. I don't know if it is a talent, but I can always spot them somehow. And here is a spiny jewel box. The last couple of times I've gone to the beach, I have been speaking things into existence, and I swear that is what happened here. Oh my god! A giant lion's paw. Again, I found it in the shore, in the low tide area. Look at that beautiful shell. And it had all of these little worm casings in the back. It was my lucky day. I could not believe that. And here is a scallop. This might have been a bay scallop. It was a little bit bigger. Had different kind of ridges. Oh, didn't get too far. Spotted this tiny little shark eye moon snail. And that is a real shark eye. Next, I spotted this chestnut turban. It was a good size. Another spiny jewel box. had some discoloration on it. And it kind of looked like maybe it had some injuries and it started to grow itself over time, which you can see on those. This was a leucine. I don't think it's a buttercup leucine. It does have a yellow tinge to it, but it's all over. I'm not really sure what kind that is exactly. And here, I picked up a piece of a helmet conch. This is an elusive shell for me. I always find these huge pieces and they fascinate me. I love the aperture on them, but I can't find a whole one. Hopefully one day. A good sized turkey wing. Found a huge auger. I will have to show you guys in another video what I'm doing with my augers. If you do want to see, comment down below and let me know if you guys want to know what I'm doing with my shells. This was some sort of tellin, and I say that because of the shape. The colors are interesting, and it was a little thicker than I thought it would be. But it looks like one of the tellins, maybe a coquina, but those are usually very, very small. And here, this, I believe, is a rock snail. Or it's another Tinticanthurus, but it's a lot bigger than I usually find them. At this point, I was all the way down the beach from where we started, about a mile at Blowing Rocks. You can get there from the park that we were at. It's about a mile walk, and it was a beautiful day, so we wanted to take a long walk. Found a Florida prickly cockle. This was the first spectral bittersweet clam that I picked up that day, if I can pick it up. It had some really cool coloring on it, so I wanted to show you guys. I like these shells, and the giant bittersweets as well. Here's another view of the Blowing Rocks. The tide was pretty low. It was coming in at that point, but they weren't dangerous like they could be. Too bad. I think that was some sort of top snail. It was time to make our way back to the starting point and pick up some shells. Here is an Imperial Venus clam. Picked up a spiny jewel box. A lot of shells up on the shore. Have this nice rack line, so I wanted to show you guys kind of what we were working with. Here are some clam shells. That's what we typically see, some slipper snails. These are most of the shells that were on the shore. You can see some arcs, some other Venus clams. Usually I don't always pick them up. If I see one that catches my eye, I will, but those aren't ones I'm looking for. This is a false limpet and a pretty big kitten's paw. Here is something new, and it almost looked like a sort of calico clam. It had a texture to it, and it was thin, so not exactly like clamshell, but I do know what this is. This is a beautiful shark eye moon snail. Sadly, some broken bits here. Broken lightning whelk, a conch, and then a seraph added in the mix. No whole lightning whelks. It's really hard to find them here because they just get too beat up. Unlike these augers, they can survive anything, I think. Okay, at this point, we were finishing at the beach. We were about to head out. I spotted one last shell, this little flat here. And then I wasn't able to show you guys, but I saw this bird as we were leaving. And it couldn't move. It looked like it was in pain, and it was stuck in a hole on the beach. And at that point, the water was coming in, and it probably would have drowned. So, you know what we did was we saved the bird. We picked it up very carefully in a towel. We found the nearest wildlife sanctuary, which was the Bush Wildlife Sanctuary that I'm showing you guys here. Okay, so we just dropped the bird off here at the Wildlife Sanctuary. We were at Coral Cove Park, so luckily this was about 20 minutes away. And we were thinking that the bird might have broken something, or he was hurt in some way, but it ended up, they told us he probably just has, what was it, botulism? Botulism, the toxin. They said that this is really common this time of year, so that happens a lot to the birds, and as long as you treat it really quickly, then they'll be okay and they can get back to normal. But we just dropped him off, and they said probably in a few days he'll be okay, and then they have to make sure that he can fly, that he's going to eat, and then they'll just release him back to the park where he's from. So I'm glad that we saved this little guy. Here's a bird that we rescued, and I wanted to put this up for you guys. So Bush Wildlife Sanctuary is an amazing sanctuary where they take care of animals. They also are able to have animals that you guys can go and see. And they do this all based on donations. Okay, they do not require you to pay anything. So in that case, I wanted to be able to pop this up, and I'll put it in the description. But I wanted to make it so that you guys knew that there's this amazing place, and if you felt compelled to donate, that you could. And I just wanted to shout them out and thank them for their amazing work.